Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another live stream with me, Xana Kernodle. This is Grizzly True Crime. Just give me a second, I just want to sort Bill Gates out. Okay, he's sorted out now. So today we are meeting here for a live stream so that we can discuss all the latest updates in the Idaho case. If you don't know anything about the case, don't worry, there's an entire playlist for you. I can't believe it's already more than a year since this happened. On November 13th of 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their off-campus college home, and it's that home that was actually demolished today. So it is no more, which is unbelievable because we've seen a lot of it. We've seen a lot of clips of it. We've seen the FBI there twice. It's I know that everyone's got mixed feelings about it. The poll would be one indication of your stance on the matter. And then in the chat as well as in the comments, let me know how you feel about it. Waterbear says, is this live? We are live indeed. Thank you to all of you who watched my premiere earlier. I really appreciate it. If you haven't seen that, go check out my video section after this, and then you could see it. So we've got a few things to discuss. There's a couple of documents as well that we'll see if we have time to go through today. Otherwise, don't worry, we can make videos. There's always lots to do and lots to talk about in this case. I'm just eager to see when will the trial actually happen. They're aiming for summer of 2024. And now, of course, the jury won't be able to walk through the house. But we're going to go through an article where Bill Thompson, the prosecutor, has made some statements. And he was saying, well, they wouldn't want the jury to walk through the house how it was before it was demolished now, because it had pretty much been gutted, Gina, thank you so much, and welcome to all my moderators. Thank you so much for everything you do. If you're on Patreon, I posted a bloopers video for you today. You might enjoy that. The more videos I pre-record, the more bloopers there are for you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I do have articles that I do want to read to you, but I also have captured for you the very best clips from today's demolition, which I watched. I'm sure you guys did as well. If you didn't, don't worry. These are some of the best clips that I could get from it. And I've, of course, enhanced, I've zoomed in and enhanced the color and everything as well. So let me quickly see where you are on the poll. Your opinion on the house demolition today. 65% says high risk for ruining the case. 5% say the community needs to heal. 14% say trust the process, FBI, etc. And 16% of you say option 2 and 3. I think I'm with the 16% of you, option 2 and 3. Okay, so so you watch this clip, okay? I will read you the article. I'm going to be here. And so there's an article here by Alexandra Duggan with the spokesman, okay? And they say the home where 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death last November in Moscow is set to be demolished on Thursday without a walkthrough by a jury, because it's so substantially different now than at the time of the homicides, according to an email from Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. So if you saw my thumbnail, that's who's on the thumbnail. It's on the left-hand side would be Bill Thompson, the Latah County Prosecutor, and on the right-hand side is the president of the University of Idaho. Okay, who I believe that this house, his name is Scott Green, right? Just go University of Idaho president. I don't know, I'm doubting myself. Hold on. I think it was his childhood home is what C. Scott Green. The rumor is that it was his childhood home. I didn't know that until recently. So there's a lot of theories building around that, of course. So they say, this house looked so substantially different, right? At 7 a.m. Thursday, local construction crews will begin to tear down the off-campus home where Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were all found dead on November 13th of 2022. Bryan Kohberger, a 29-year-old former Washington State University criminology student, has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in their deaths, and of course the 1 count of burglary. Okay? Yes, Stephen A. That's what I just said. That's what I said. All right. And so the demolition of the home donated to the university after the student's death was allowed by both the prosecution and the defense, according to a release from the University of Idaho. So at least to me, that's a good sign that the prosecution and the defense are happy about it. It's not only the defense that's happy about it or only the state that's happy about it, right? And so they say the university planned to demolish the house in August, but it was delayed. Do you guys remember that? They were going to demolish it, and then they delayed it, and now they have demolished it. Okay? The FBI returned to the property in October to scan the home and create visual models for trial, and both sets of attorneys completed their final walkthroughs of the house last week. That must have been so hectic. Oh my word. Okay, so it's time for the house to come down to continue the healing process. University spokesperson Jody Walker said, when we think about community healing, it is important to acknowledge, I understand the case is extremely important, but it is also important to acknowledge how scary it must be to see that house all the time for all these students. There's so many students there, when they see it, it will be like PTSD, right? Shame. It must be a very traumatic sight to see. Now, I know many people will say, well, tearing it down doesn't help, but maybe for many it will help. And they apparently are going to build a memorial garden of sorts. We're going to look at that article as well. There will be a memorial to honor the victims and the area as well. Okay? So, sorry that I'm looking that way. I just want you to be able to look at the clips, right? Hope it's okay. I can put the articles up here, but then you won't see the clips, okay? And so they said that decision has come with pushback and fear. So, pushback and fear. Is that how you guys feel? Do you feel like pushback and fear? Okay, Casey Collins said he only stayed there as a student, not his childhood home. Interesting. I need to look more into that because I'm not 100% sure. I just see it being reported that it was the University of Idaho president's childhood home. Okay. So now they say the FBI returned to the property, right? It's time for the house to come down to continue the healing process. The decision has come with pushback and fear. The Goncalves family attorney, Shannon Gray, wrote a statement on behalf of the family about the decision to demolish the home, in which he writes, "The house is one of the most critical pieces of evidence in this case." You know what I find interesting is watching all the law tubers, the lawyers, debate about this, right? So I see it on X, I see it obviously on YouTube, and there's a lot of divided opinions there as well, where some say, this is not right, this is a mistake. Others say, well, this is the right thing to do. Others say, well, this could be risky. Others say, trust the process. So it really is quite a topic, which is why I thought we should discuss it here as a community together. I know that I'm very busy reading the article to you, but I will be looking at the live chat replay, and I will definitely be reading your comments as well. So please leave comments after the live stream too, okay? So they say, this is now again the Goncalves family attorney. There may be additional discovery by either party that prompts one side or the other to go back to the scene of the crime, the statement said. What a waste of state money and resources. And secondly, nothing replaces the real thing. Jurors are notoriously unpredictable, and they tend to make decisions on a variety of facts and circumstances. The Goncalves family, with support of the Kernodle family, also posted a petition online to keep the home standing. So they were very vocal about this. They said, stop this madness. Don't tear this house down. The families were petitioning. Well, today, the house, as you can see behind me, was demolished. It is no more. Right? Ooh, Janet says, it will always be the horror story. You know what happened here? Right? Okay. So, to continue on with this, they said, some on social media have also speculated the house should be standing for jurors to walk through. But Thompson, the lead prosecutor on Kohberger's case, wrote in a December 22nd email to the university that the state-led team anticipates no further use of the home. So this is what he said. Based on our review of case law, the current condition of the premises is so substantially different than at the time of the homicides that a jury view would not be authorized. So they say they'd torn down the walls and everything so much, they'd been there getting forensic evidence to the point where it's no longer the same inside. So they're saying, the state is saying, that it's so different they would not have authorized a jury walkthrough. So that's pretty interesting. Plant Lady says they have plenty of photos and videos. It's okay. They've got photos, they've got videos, they've got a walkthrough, they've got their technology to make 3D models and all sorts of things. And I mean, we've seen some trials where they make some really good, I mean, we've even seen YouTubers create, right, 3D models and things. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the page of trust the process. I understand the emotional impact of this. I understand that. I kind of trust the process, you know? But again, we'll have to see. I really hope it doesn't risk anything, of course. You know, you guys know I like to risk assess. So they said, oh, clips, hello. Where'd you go? Okay, we'll play it again. Hold on one second. Maybe we could actually bring, so you actually saw it now, right? Ah, I could actually bring the article over now. And then I'll show you some more of that later if you wanted to. Okay, so now I can actually look at you guys. Hello. All right, so here they say, the lead prosecutor, Bill Thompson, right, said that. Based on our review of the Idaho case law. So that's important. They're not just saying based on our opinion or feelings. They say based on our review of the Idaho case law, the current condition is so substantially different than at the time of the homicides that a jury view would not be authorized. Thompson wrote, we appreciate the University of Idaho's help in facilitating the investigators gathering the necessary measurements, etc., to enable creation of illustrative exhibits that should be admissible and helpful to the jury. Jed Whittaker, former deputy prosecutor for the Kootenai County, or for Kootenai, so I'll say it right now, guys, Kootenai County, said it's rare to have jury walk through crime scenes anymore because of the advancement in technology. Now, I know many arguments can be made there. Like, it really helped in the murder case for the jury to do that walkthrough. That's what the jury said, right? So I know that point can be argued quite a bit. Vamos says, what a day, right? This was a day. We're going to have a member stream after this to discuss the release from prison of Gypsy Rose, by the way, if you guys are interested in that. Roni said, it is what it is, and we just have to accept it and move on. I mean, that's a good point as well. It is what it is. Whatever we think about it, yeah, it's already been demolished, so that's the thing. But I do want to hear your opinions. I want to hear what you guys think. And I'm going to continue reading the article now. Kathleen R. said there's no way to understand how sounds traveled through the house. Good point as well. Thank you so much. So here they say, I could actually zoom in a little bit more for you guys. Just hold on one second. How's that? Okay, so Jed said it's rare to have a walkthrough the crime scene. I don't know. We see it still. And 3D imaging, like the ones the FBI were taking of the home since the homicides, is way more advanced than anything on Google. He said, well, yeah, we're hoping they're not relying on Google. We're hoping they've got their 3D models, right? Some of the 3D imaging law enforcement uses, according to a study from the University College London Department of Security and Crime Science, is able to overlap crime scene photos to the 3D scan of the home or crime area, reconstruct injuries on a body, and even link to a drone for a full view of a street or property. Did you guys notice the drone in that footage I just showed you? There was a drone hovering around there, getting all of that action real close. Sure. So I wonder whose drone that was and when that footage would ever be released. So they say a setback, if the jury did walk through the home, would be that the defendant is required to be there with them. Whittaker said, the defendant has to be present for all aspects of the trial, otherwise it is grounds for an appeal. If he's there, they will associate that house with him, Whittaker said. If I was a defense lawyer, I'd object. If I was a prosecutor, I wouldn't go there. Whittaker has tried asking the court for a jury walkthrough multiple times, he said. Every single time he was shut down because of 3D imaging and photographs. Because all the evidence has been processed from the crime scene for trial, Whittaker believes there's no reason he could imagine keeping the house up. He has also interacted with the defense and prosecutors in Kohberger's case during other trials and believes each side are excellent investigative units that will leave no stone unturned. Evidence is what is admitted into trial. You can't admit a house, but you can admit photos. People's descriptions are also evidence. They're not going to find new evidence in there, Whitaker said. I'm sure they looked at everything. Beyond that, you have law enforcement that's under a gag order. The public doesn't know what else they have as evidence. Kohberger's trial was initially set for October, but has been delayed indefinitely, with the target, according to new documents that say they want it to be for the summer of 2024. If you ever want like little updates, check out my YouTube shorts, because that's where I posted also the other day about a summer trial that could happen in 2024 and things like that. Denisha says it's the university's property. They can do whatever they want with it, even if y'all don't agree. I like all the opinions here. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Please like and share so that everyone can see the live chat replay, see what you guys said, see how everyone's feeling over here. Okay, Wisdom Speaks, welcome. I hope you'll join us for our member stream later. So now, I want to show you here where they said bringing Bryan Kohberger, jury, to Idaho student's home could be logistics nightmare with no payoff. Okay, now listen, we are already signed up. I can't read this right now. Oh, so annoying. Next one. I wanted to show you this because this talks about the memorial. Idaho house where 4 students were killed is being razed. Here's what happened to other homes linked to notorious killings. But we see many of them still standing, right? Right? In many cases. I just think of the Watts house. Still there. But this is in a university community. So it's a little different. It's not like, a residential area just, with families. This is a community of students. I also hate that students were peeing on the side of these walls. Remember that? That was a few months ago. So maybe they felt it's just better that they take this house down now, okay? Candy says a 3D image is different than being there and seeing and feeling the whole layout of the house. Okay, so the University of Idaho on Thursday began demolition, it's now done, right, of the off-campus home where 4 students were fatally stabbed last year. The latest instance in which a property is razed following Grizzly. You see the difference there? We're Grizzly like a bear. Double Z-L-Y, like grizzly bear, true crime, okay? This word is Grizzly. Okay, yes. High-profile killings. Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogen were killed inside the Moscow, Idaho off-campus rental on November 13th of 2022, stunning the university and the surrounding community and the world. The owner of the home donated it to the university, and the school planned to tear it down in July. Can you guys believe that it was actually supposed to be the trial already in October? Like, if things had gone, according to the plan, before I think Kohberger changed his mind. Can't remember exactly what happened there. We went over all of it. We went over the documents and everything, right? But the trial was meant to happen in October. It would have been done already. But no, things have changed along the way. So now, hopefully, summer 2024. But as we see in many trials like Sarah Boone and many that we've actually just recently been looking at, the delay after delay, even Jesse Krzyzewski, the sentencing could be delayed. Oh man, things take time, right? Okay, so they said, but those plans were delayed until this month when the university announced that attorneys for the suspect, Bryan Kohberger, had been given access to the home as part of their preparations for trial. Prosecutors also accessed the house on December 21st, the school said. Kohberger has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and not guilty pleas have been entered on his behalf. Prosecutors have proposed that his trial begin in the summer of 2024. Thursday's demolition, taking place during winter break, was expected to last several days. It didn't last several days. Did you see how quickly they tore that house down today? Sure, I was like shocked. Like, oh my word, look at them go. CP, it's nice to see you. You said Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Are we in 2024 already? Thank you so much for that New Year gift. I really, really appreciate it. So they say Thursday demolition taking place during winter break. Also important considering the students, I get it, was expected to last several days, the University of Idaho said in a news release this month. But it could be finished within a day. We saw that, Jody Walker, university spokesperson, told CNN. It is the grim reminder of the heinous act that took place there. University of Idaho President Scott Green said in a news release, while we appreciate the emotional connection some family members of the victims may have to this house, it is time for its removal and to allow the collective healing of our community to continue. On the eve of the demolition, the families of Goncalves and Kernodle pleaded with the university and local prosecutors to preserve the home. They argued that it may provide evidence during the murder trial, including about how much the surviving roommates may have heard during the killings, according to a joint statement. But neither prosecutors nor defense attorneys have opposed the demolition, the university said, and a prosecutor told school officials in an email, the house is so substantially different and at the time of the homicide. Now, what do you guys think is so substantially different? Because from my understanding, it's as if they'd ripped off all the panels. It was like almost like it was just the frames of the house inside, you know what I mean? So I think that's what they mean. I saw someone make an example of that earlier on X. But still, the layout is what everyone's worried about because it was a very oddly built house. So to understand who could have heard what and who could have seen what and all of that, but hopefully those 3D imaging models they make will help. I really hope so. Thank you, Laura. You said, you're my favorite. I really appreciate it. So here's some pictures. Whoo, that's a picture and a half. Look at that. That is a very hectic picture. Yeah, Mona says, yep, it was gutted. It sounds harsh to say that, right? But it was. It was apparently gutted. No panels, none of the, just the bare structure was still inside. This picture is like, really, a picture's worth 1,000 words, they say, right? Look at this picture. Oh my word. With the house gone, attention can turn to the property's future. The university intends to create a memorial garden on the site to honor the 4 students. I know people were debating, is it going to be on the site or like at the university or where is it going to be? Here they say on the site to honor the 4 students. It is said, and landscape design and architecture students were set to draft concepts for the garden this past fall. The question of what to do with such properties has become distressingly rote in recent years, particularly in the US, where communities regularly have to grapple with the scenes of mass shootings, asking themselves how they honor the victims and their families while allowing those left behind to heal and move forward. Have you seen when there is YouTube hates these words together, but a mass shooting like at a school? Have you seen that those schools so often shut down as well? Shame. That's so sad to see them just completely abandoned. You know, so they said the question of what to do with such properties, as we said, which communities have to grapple with the scenes of mass shootings, asking themselves how they honor the victims and their families while allowing those left behind to heal and move forward. That's particularly difficult following these shootings at schools where students and teachers face the possibility of having to return. For example, Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut was torn down and rebuilt after 26 people, including 26 and 7-year-old children, were killed in a shooting there in December 2012. But for decades, communities have faced similar questions about private homes like the one in Idaho, where notorious killers lived or their victims were murdered. Often these homes are torn down, like the Sandy Hook shooter's home, and where he lived with his mother, his first victim, the day of the shooting. Okay, so I'm going to link this article if you want to read through all these other examples, right? John Wayne Gacy's home. Do you remember that? Or don't you? Did you or did you not? Read my book. Yeah, this one was demolished later, but they had to because it was structurally not okay anymore. And I feel like this 1122 Queen Road house, they say King Road, but it's Queen Road, right? This house was also probably not very structurally sound anymore, based on everything that they've taken out of it. Okay, so we've got that. Here as well, they say it only took 90 minutes. Oh my word. Oh my word, 90 minutes for Idaho's most infamous building to come crashing down. The Clapboard House, Clapboard, at 1122 King Road, Moscow, offered no resistance as a red Hitachi digger moved in before dawn. And by 8 a.m., its work was done. The home where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their beds was gone, razed to the ground in an effort to bring healing to the small town on the Washington state border. Once it was down, 2 contractors were left to rake over the rubble and cart it away to be buried to an unannounced location. Now, I wonder where that's going to be. What are they going to do with all the rubble? Wow. Okay, so they said they want nothing left for ghouls to plunder. said one of the few locals who had joined a throng of media to witness the final seconds of the doomed home. Okay, that's also a point. It can become, unfortunately, like a tourist attraction. Isn't that horrible? Like a morbid tourist attraction. Sometimes, it can become popular for those reasons, and students most certainly in the community wouldn't want that. People coming through there the whole time just to see it. Shauna said, what about the jury being able to see the view into the house from the outside? For instance, what would the killer be able to see through the windows from the street? Yeah, I mean, good point. I just wonder if they don't have tons of video footage by now, if they don't have tons of photos by now. I'm sure they've thought of all that. You guys know, if I feel in my gut it's not time to trust the process, then I'm like, I don't trust it. But in my gut, right now, it feels like trust the process to me, okay? So, look at these pictures. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Yes, it's known as dark tourism. Have you guys heard that phrase? Oh, that's sad when that happens. Carol says, a memorial garden, is that a sure thing? I have seen that reported, so I'm not sure if it's a sure thing, but that is what they are reporting is going to happen with the space. Sure, look at this. I'm sure that obviously the drone caught this, right? Maybe a helicopter, but it looks like it could be drone footage. Wow, it's unbelievable to see it like that. Goodness, look at this picture. Sorry, I moved the wrong one. I want to zoom in for you guys. There we go. Wow. Okay. Anita says, I'm trusting the process too, G. Yeah. So, look there. Oh, we're done there now. Are we? Oh, no, there we go. They said it's been almost exactly a year since Bryan Kohberger, now 29, studying for a PhD in criminology at nearby Washington State University, was charged with these murders. Kohberger was arrested during a raid on his parents' home in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania on December 30th. It has been almost a year since they busted into his house there in Pennsylvania. Do you guys remember that? Oh my word. That was, we had John Kelly, criminal profiler, on the show with his entire team, right? And, well, okay, not the entire team. There were some members of his team with us. The live stream's on the playlist there if you guys want to check it out from last year. And we were saying we hope that they arrest someone. They hope that they find the suspect by the end of the year. And like the next day, there was this announcement of them arresting Bryan Kohberger. That was quite hectic. It feels like yesterday. I can't believe it's already been over a year. Jean, thanks for your support for 18 months. Okay, so the rest, this we should know. I hope you know it. If you don't, I'm going to link all of these sources for you if you do want to read through it. I always do that for you as well and do timestamps. But I just wanted to mainly also show you these pictures. This is the house. This is not even how we quite remember it with the plywood over. They did that recently. We'll never forget this house, and we'll never forget what happened there, and we'll never forget the victims. Right? Can't speak for everyone, but it feels like it, right? Okay, so there's Kohberger. Oh man. So I'm going to link this, yes, as I say, and then what else did I want to show you? This one. This one is one of the documents I wanted to show you where they said motion for a scheduling order. And if you haven't seen the Goncalves family statements, they have a Facebook page called the Goncalves family page, and you can read it all over there. That was before the house was demolished. That was them, saying, please don't tear this house down. Yeah, Pernille said, tearing the house down shouldn't be a win for either party. Fair trial and hopefully the right verdict. Yes, hopefully fair trial, right verdict. I'm just glad that both the prosecutor, so both the state and the defense, are happy about this. If it was one or the other, I'd be a little bit worried, hey? Marie says, I wonder if the jury will be given a virtual reality tour of the house. Probably. I wonder if they'll have virtual reality goggles. You never know. Okay, so quickly, this one, motion for scheduling order. Comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney, and respectfully moves the court for a scheduling order addressing without limitation the following. Scheduling a jury trial to run for approximately 6 weeks. It's going to be a long trial. It's going to be the trial of the century, right? Including penalty phase. And he's facing the death penalty if convicted, right? The state proposes that the court schedule the trial for the summer of 2024 and that the trial date avoid times when Moscow High School and our area universities are in session. As the court is aware, Moscow High School is directly adjacent to the courthouse premises, and already the significantly increased amount of media and other vehicles related to this case has strained available parking as well as safety and convenience for pedestrians, including students. The court is also aware that when the local universities are in session, it is not infrequent for area lodging to become unavailable due to university-related activities such as sporting events, graduation, etc. The state also requests that the court set a daily trial schedule of 8:30 a.m. to approximately 3 p.m. For me, I have to add on 7 or 8 hours to that for when I'm studying, because of course I'm in Europe, right? I'm in the Netherlands, so we'll see what time that is for me, but we'll be there. If they're live streaming it, which they do say they're going to have cameras in the courtroom, but the judge says he's going to be controlling that. Either way, good that they so far are going to have cameras, right? They said for a trial of this length, it's appropriate to afford jurors some amount of time to tend to their personal affairs. Additionally, having more time in the afternoon allows for better preparation by the parties and allows for reasonable opportunities and time for the court and counsel to address any motions or other matters that routinely arise during the course of jury trials. In the state's experience, this type of daily trial schedule is typically appreciated by jurors as well as court staff and counsel. So they say 2, deadlines for completion of discovery for both the state and the defense, deadlines for both parties to make expert disclosures pursuant to the code, as you can see it there, deadlines for filings of pretrial motions and responses and replies thereto, including but not limited to motions in limine, motions relating to the death penalty, and any motions under the Idaho Code. Deadlines for jury questioning, as you can see, this is all the boxes they need to tick, right? The state notes that this court's August 22nd, 2023 scheduling order, the court set a date certain for sentencing disclosures, including witnesses, exhibits, expert reports, and any other evidence. The state requests that the court allow the parties further opportunity to supplement their disclosures following receipt and review of the opposing parties' initial disclosures. The court's August 22nd scheduling order, as you can see, we've got over this before. The point is, they're asking for the trial to happen summer of 2024, okay? I will put a link to where you can find all these latest documents in the description box for you. Idaho is actually very cool with documents, honestly. This is Idaho cases of public interest, and it's very different to, for example, Delphi. Like, look at this. Look at Kohberger's documents. I just want to show you this as an example of how many there are and how many you can that are publicly available to download and discuss, which is great. So, State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger. Look at this. Can you believe it? Whoa. And it goes on. You can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. You just can't believe it. It's just like document overload, which is great. It's great. We love documents, okay? On this channel, we love documents, as you know. Okay, let's see what Angel Robin says. This case is really screwed up now. You don't destroy a crime scene before a trial. Okay, let's see what you voted now. So there's 1,870 votes. Now, let's see what the final result says before I... let me put my clips back on for you. Okay. Okay, your opinion on the House demolition today. 65% say high risk for ruining the case. Now, can you elaborate? Tell me why. Tell me why. Okay, is it because you want the jury to do a walkthrough? What is the risk? Tell me, okay? Then 6% say the community needs to heal. 14% say trust the process, FBI, etc. And 15% say option 2 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll there. I mean, would we have all felt probably safer in the knowledge that the House would still be standing there, and then the jury could, if they wanted to, walk through it, whether they would or would not? That would have been great, but as we have recently found out, they said that the House was not at all like it was before because they'd gutted the House. Okay, So there's so many comments flying by. I'm trying to keep up, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your opinions here. Please also share them in the comments, okay? Now, Shauna says, what is your opinion on the importance of the house still standing if, God forbid, he's found not guilty? Can they use what they have if there is another suspect? You never know. I would hope so. I would hope that they can use whatever they have, that those videos, photos, the 3D imaging, maybe even with virtual reality, we don't know. Hopefully. So maybe they thought as well to demolish it now, because things take time. Sometimes it takes 5 years to get to trial. There's unforeseen delays many times, right? Shave, look at all these teddy bears and things. You know, just sitting, it just makes the scene look so sad. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about this. I'm sure you do too. So if you feel undecided, don't worry, you're not alone. So Meryl said, Meryl, hope I'm saying it right, can always revisit evidence. Angel Robin said the defense can really play off this. Dolores said, my vote is high risk. Also, if anyone is watching the replay and you are annoyed with me interacting with my audience, please remember this is a live stream. If you prefer videos with no distractions and comments and things, yeah, go to the videos section. I very often upload there for you. I have premieres over there. You can go there without hearing me interact. But on live streams, we talk about things together as a community. And we're a very lively bunch, right? Kind, snarky, lovely. Okay, so Jazz's outlet says, seems suspicious they demolished it now. Rob says, hopefully this does not create a split jury. Interesting. One more. Let's see a few more. There's so many interesting ones. Essen said, my reason is because I feel weird with the defense being very comfortable with this decision, and I feel like they're getting ready to pull a card behind their back to bring in reasonable suspicion. Interesting. I mean, he does have good defense attorneys as well, right? I understand. Okay. USA Kiwi said, need the jury to be able to hear what things sound like in the house and outside the house. But what if things... I get it. I hear you. I'm just wondering, what if it wouldn't have sounded at all the same because of how different it was inside? Look at it. Oh my goodness. And then the house came tumbling down. Isn't it? It's so shocking to see. I can't imagine what the families are feeling. Please send them lots of love. Please leave some kind comments for them. This must be a very, very difficult day for the families of the victims, right? I mean, it must be very difficult for the students as well, for everyone. Sure, that Hitachi was busy today, huh? ERP Thompson Queen said, watch this live as it was happening too. Me too. I was lurking there with you. Too many questions about how this was orchestrated and how it will impact the case. I am skeptical. Skeptical? Okay, I understand. Skepticism, yes. And Pernille says virtual reality goggles may come in use for the jury. So there are some other documents also listed on that Idaho cases of public interest relating to this case, but I'm going to first just work through them and see if I can, I'm not a lawyer, so I just want to see, there's a lot of legalese in them. I want to just listen to some of the law tubers and read it nice and carefully, make sure things are redacted that should be redacted. I'm always cautious with documents, right? So, and then we can discuss it maybe in a video, or maybe I'll make a short if there's something important just to quickly share with you. We shall see. But as I said, I'm going to put the link to the documents in the description box. So if you just want to just click on it and go see them yourself already, you can, if you didn't know about it. Gerda says, I'm sure the authorities will have taken everything they needed from the house. I have faith in them. Okay, so thank you everyone for sharing everything. Carry on doing it. I'm quickly going to be setting up my member stream now. I had it as unlisted. I'm going to make it now as members. Gypsy Rose has been released. I mean, it was Gypsy Rose Blanchard, right? But her surname has changed now, I think, because she's married. And so she was released from prison today after serving 85% of her time. Her husband picked her up. And so we're going to discuss that now in a member stream. I have called it Snark Tank, which I know you guys like as members. So I'm feeling a little snarky about some things. So we'll go over that in a moment, okay? This stream, I'm going to make it teleport you to that stream. If not, don't worry. I will be sharing the link in the chat with you in a moment, and I will also put it on the community tab for all members, okay? So, again, thank you so much for joining me to discuss these updates in this case, which is one of the worst cases we've heard in a long time, right? Quadruple homicide. It's just the way everything happened is so scary. And so to just see this house just demolished is, I mean, if you got a lot of empathy, which I know many of you in this community do, it's harsh, huh? It feels very, I don't know, raw and real and just like, oh my word. I hope the families are okay. I hope that you guys are okay as well. And love all your discussions. Leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you in the next one. There's always so much to discuss. I'm always working on stuff for you guys, as you know. Let me take the clips off. Okay. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you, Mods. Thank you to everyone. And remember, stay safe. Okay, bye.